Thank you.
Hey, what's up? Are you busy with something? Hello? Yeah, sorry. Thanks, Vinod, for that informative session. I think we all learned a lot, and hope I can impart some knowledge through this session as well. I'm a customer success manager for a company called ROI Hunter. We are a Facebook and Google partner, and we have built a platform exclusively for e-commerce companies so that they can scale their ads on Facebook and Instagram efficiently. And now we've also integrated with Google Ads. So the objective is to have different platforms where you can market your products through our single channel. We are headquartered in Czech Republic, and we have offices across the world. And we have over 300 clients in e-commerce companies that we are working with right now. So that was a little bit about the company. So before I get into this, I know that Vinod spoke of asking about how many ads you've seen, but I wanted to know if you've seen ads of a product from an e-commerce company. How many of you have seen an ad from an e-commerce company on Facebook? Okay. What was the ad about? And can you tell me? Can we get the box? इनको दे दो जी. सबसे आगे.
Mostly for Amazon.
From Amazon, right?
Yeah,
and was it an ad of a product that you had seen before, or it was something that was completely new? Seen before,
and then they had personalized it for me so that I can, see more products similar to those which I was browsing on their website.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you think if you had seen a product that was not personalized to your taste and it was something completely random, would the experience have been different as compared to how?
Yes, I would not have interacted with the ad at all. I would have skipped it.
Right.
I interact with the ads because they are curated to my taste.
Right. Exactly. So personalization really helped enhance your customer experience.
Absolutely. And them getting a click as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. So, how many of you know what dynamic product ads are on Facebook? Nobody? Okay. Well, that's good, because then I can kind of step back and explain to you how this works. So what you saw was a dynamic product ad on Facebook by Amazon. How this works is that you have two elements that form the ad. One is a product feed, and one is the pixel. I will touch upon both of them now. So I think the first speaker mentioned that all the social media channels have a lot of audience insights, right? They are amazing for getting data. How do you think they're getting this data? There has to be a way for them to track this data, right? So the tracking mechanism is through something called as a pixel. A pixel is a small snippet of code that every advertiser on Facebook installs on their website. Now, once this pixel is installed on the website, every action that the customer takes post clicking on the ad is recorded. So that's how Facebook knows how many purchases were made through the ad on a particular website, which products you've seen before, and they show you the same ad again of similar products. They can help you create audience segments, who's an engaged shopper versus who's not actively looking for products. So through the pixel, they're able to create these rich audience sets that advertisers can leverage to market to their customers and then use personalization through that. So the audience set is mostly created through pixel. So that is one element of creating a dynamic product ad where the audience was served, where you were selected through that. Now, how about the product itself, right? So the product is hosted in something called as a product feed. A product feed is basically a file that contains list of all the products that an e-commerce company hosts, along with all other informations of the product, such as the name, the color, the size, the quantity, whether it is in stock, out of stock, or whatever information that is valid for the product. All of this information of that product is hosted in a particular file called a feed. It can be an RSS or a CSV file, right? Now, you create a catalog of your products through a feed. So in order to create a dynamic product ad on Facebook and deliver that ad to the customer, you have two elements: a product catalog that contains all the products and the information with it, and the pixel that has all the information of the actions being taken on the website, right? Now for an so I just wanted to do a quick interactive session. How many of you have advertised on Facebook before? Okay. Can you give the to him, the one behind him? Yeah. What did you advertise about, and what kind of data points did you measure through that advertisement?
Oh, different things in FMCG, an FMCG product.
Okay. What was the objective of that ad? Let me put it this way.
That was, different objectives. So for that particular one, it was branding. So
Okay.
there was another one in which the objective was to get more people to come to a specific class, a music class.
Okay.
There's another one in which the objective was to get more people to come to the website and sign up for a certain service.
Okay.
So different objectives, branding as well as lead gen.
Okay. And how were you measuring how many people signed up through that? How did you measure that?
So we have pixels. So we
Exactly.
put the pixels and then we measure.
Right. And so just to add to that, every pixel will have different events. In that case, they must have installed an event called for lead forms that they must be measuring how many lead forms were filled through that ad.
Correct.
For e-commerce companies, since the masterclass is more towards advertising for e-commerce and how data can be utilized for them. For e-commerce companies, there are three main events, let's put it, that are very valuable. One is when someone views a product for the first time. That is when you are looking at a product, you've not taken any action, you've not added it to cart, but you've just seen the product on the website. The second is when you actually add the product to your cart. That is, you have reached closer to the funnel. That goes back to the BIDA funnel chart that the first speaker had spoken about, that from building an interest, you're now taking action. And then finally is the purchase, where you actually record that the customer made the purchase. So all these actions are actually recorded through the pixel. And so now this is a little bit about how the dynamic product ads basically work and how you were able to see that ad, because you must have seen that product before. So you must have fallen in the view content category or add to cart. And then they had the product catalog where they saw that this is the product, they matched it, and then they delivered that ad to give you a rich experience finally, which made you click on the ad and probably convert later on. So this is how the whole ecosystem is. So what's happening with online retailers now? Online retailers are increasingly the growth rate is at a 150% hike every year, and by 2020 we can see that it's going to touch more than $4 trillion. That's the industry. Now with this, the increase in spend come few challenges, right? While the spend is increasing, and yes, there are more sales, but then the drawbacks are that because there's more competition, more people are advertising. That means your rate of acquiring the customers, the money that you're spending is increasing. Earlier, if you could acquire a customer at, let's say, 100 rupees, now that may not be the case. You may have to spend more because more people are doing the same thing. So obviously, the competition is higher. And similarly, because there is so much of competition and so many products, your profitability is decreasing. You may be selling more products, but the profitability is decreasing. And at the end of the day, every company is looking to attain profitability to maintain to sustain in the market. So increase in customer acquisition costs and decrease in customer profitability are some of the challenges that e-commerce companies are facing. And how do they, these are some more stats about how of what's been happening in the industry. So what do companies need to do to actually overcome these challenges? And this is where the data aspect comes into play, how leveraging data that they own, and then how can they market to the audience using that data to get actually better results, right? So the first is optimization for real profitability. Now, every e-commerce company has products with different margins, right? You may be selling two products for different prices, but their margins may be different because their manufacturing costs may be different, their operational costs may be different, right? So for example, you have two phones selling at 10,000 rupees, but one phone may have cost you 2,000 rupees to actually get to the market, and the other may have cost you 5,000 rupees. Now, you may be selling both of them at the same price, and then you may be getting the same return on ad spend through that, but your profitability is different for both the cases. So how do you want to make sure that you increase your profitability and margins is you can optimize for that, and I'm going to tell you how you can do that. Tailor customer experience, case in point, she saw an ad that was tailored to her choice, and that made her click the ad and then convert later on, rather than getting a generic ad that no one trusts and then we need to go to our peers for review. So then that increases the life cycle of getting the customer. Rather, create tailored experiences so that they can convert faster and at a cheaper rate. Actionable data across different departments, right? So you have, in every company, you have a category manager that manages all the products and the inventory. You have the digital team where the PPC and the generalized people come in, where they're actually running the ads. And then you have the creative team who actually creates the ads. Now, how can we use data to actually synchronize all these teams and ensure that the right product is being shown to the customer and ensuring that the profitability is maintained? So, how can we effectively tie up all the departments together and ensure that a holistic experience is given to the customer? And then automation of processes. So if you are spending, let's say, 3 days to come up with a video, how can you reduce that time to create the same video and deliver that experience to the user? This can also help you increase your profitability. So these are some of the ways the companies can succeed and overcome the challenges that I previously spoke of. And now I'm going to show you how we can actually do that. So this is how the product marketing platform can help, and how the data points now can help. So firstly, you have your product feed that I spoke of, where all your data is hosted. Now you are advertising on different channels, right? Everyone advertises on Google Shopping, they advertise on Facebook, everyone uses Google Analytics, right? How many of us use Google Analytics to actually track Facebook results? Is there anyone who actually does this? Okay. Well, a lot of e-commerce companies, although they're running ads on Facebook, but they are measuring the results on Google Analytics because every tool has a different measurement criteria, right? Now, Facebook has a default criteria of 28 days click and 1 day view. Whereas Google has a last click attribution model. Now you may see that the same ad on Facebook may have gotten you more results, more conversions, but when you see it on Google Analytics, it shows you that the conversion rate was lesser. So depending on which data source you trust, you can connect that data source to your product feed to enhance it. Now all your product is connected with your conversions, your click-through rate, your ROI from different channels, and you are able to enhance your product feed by leveraging data from different sources. And finally, once you have the different data sources inside your product feed, you can use the pixel along with that to deliver ads on different channels with this enhanced feed. Okay, so now this is where the game is changing, and this is something that is new and can help companies take actionable, can give them actionable insights and give them probably better results as well. So every company has different set of products. They have new launches, they have best-selling products, they have products with different margins, they have products that are probably doing well on Google but are not doing well on Facebook. And then they have hidden gems. That means products have potential to do well, but are actually not being shown on your preferred channel. On Facebook, it's not being shown. How can you ensure that you have control over showing which products to show to your customer? Because right now, how it works on Facebook is it works through AI, where you put in your catalog, you put in your product feed, and Facebook chooses which product to show to which customers, rather than you having that capability. In order to be sustainable and to be profitable, it's important to actually have the ability to showcase the products that you want to show and will make you profitable. So this is what we saw, for example. So I'm going to come back to those slides. So this is an example, this is an example with a client where they saw that on Google Analytics, they were getting the transactions, they were getting good transactions of the products, where every product had transactions higher than or they were the top selling products. But on Facebook, where you can see the impressions column over here, the Facebook was actually not delivering ads to them. Now, anything less than 1,000 impressions is very, very low in this case. So what the advertiser realized was that while the products that were profitable for them or were getting them more transactions were showing up on Google Analytics as the best-selling products, the same products were not being advertised on Facebook because they don't have the ability to choose the products, because Facebook's AI chooses the products to be shown on their platform, right? Now, what we did was, since we have the ability to integrate with different data sources, Facebook and Google both, we were able to help the client create a product set that helped them choose the products basis Google Analytics data and deliver the same results and deliver the same products on Facebook. And these were the results that, because they were able to use data to show products to the customers, they had a better return on ad spend, they had more sessions, and all the metrics were as per the desired results. So what we learned from this was that while AI helps companies save time and it is helping them create automation, because they don't have to spend time in choosing the products for the customers, it's very important to be able to be in control of which products you're showing to the customers, right? So having the ability to merge different data sources and then showing the product that gets you the profitability is very, very important. So this is an example of how you can the different data sources that can be seen together when you integrate your product catalog with ROI Hunter. So on the left, you have all the names of the products, and then you have the different metrics across data sources. Now, how this has come in is that there's a product feed that I spoke of that contains all the products, and and this product feed is common for Facebook and Google both. So the same product feed is being used for different channels, and then you have your different data sources that we are able to map and showcase all the metrics that are possible for you to advertise using. So we saw that some products have good volume and CTR on Facebook, but the performance of those products is not good on Google Shopping, and similarly is the case for Google Analytics as well. And from this, we realized that now we have the ability to actually remove some of the products that are being shown on Facebook and the money is being spent on, but are actually not able to deliver the return on ad spend that we are looking for. Earlier, we were not able to do this because, like I said, Facebook chose the product and we did not have the ability to choose which product to be shown or removed. But through the product insights, now we knew that which product is doing well and which one is not doing well. And we are now able to choose that we can actually remove those products. Because we are removing those products, we are able to save money by not spending on those ads, and that automatically increases your profitability. Okay. So, now how many of you have seen an ad on Facebook from a company that you visited, or, and then they've been stalking you, let's say on Facebook and being shown and are showing you the same ad again and again, and you have no intention to buy that? So I can see a few hands over here. Right. So we did a recent research, and we found out that more than 20% of the website visits actually happen through misclicks or referrals, wherein a customer lands on the website by mistake, having no intention of buying the product from that website, but because they fall under your remarketing list, then you start advertising to them, and then they start marking you down on Facebook. So the mechanism works like this, where if you mark an ad as spam, then the negative score attached to it increases. When the negative score increases, your relevance score of the ad decreases, and then your cost per click increases. That means if you were delivering ad at a cost per click of, let's say, $1, because people have been marking you down, your cost per click is actually increasing to or $3, depending on how many people actually marked you down. Companies don't realize the importance of this because they feel that whenever a customer comes to the website, we should just add them to the funnel and start remarketing to them, irrespective of understanding whether they are actually interested in buying or not. So what you can do to counter this is actually have every company knows what's the average session time per user on their website to complete a purchase, right? They can start using data insights such as these to understand how many customers fell below that, and then actually remove them from the remarketing list, because that is a clear signal to them that they are not interested in buying the product, and they can actually save their money by not marketing to them and focus only on the customers that have a high potential of buying. So the stat is that the probability of a new customer buying is 5 to 20%, but the probability of selling to an existing customer increases significantly to 60 to 70%. And when you market to these people who have already bought from a website, the chances of increasing their lifetime value is more. And like I said, because the ads will be relevant to them, your cost per click will also decrease. So using data insights such as the average session time on a website or how much time someone spent to actually look at the products is also very important, something that the companies can do to actually get better results. Yes, please. Can we have that?
Subham here.
Yeah, hi.
So I know what is the meaning of bounce rate. Like if people are spending less than 45 seconds, or let's say 1 minute on your website, so it will consider as a bounce rate, right? And 45% is a bit high, but it's fine. Still, how much sure you are, like if 45% people are landing by mistake, they are not interested into your product. Sorry, because what we do, sometimes we are seeing any ad, let's say we are interested to buy a shoes and we are seeing an ad on Facebook, shoes online. So we just click on the ad, we just we just copy the product name and we compare with any other, like let's say in Amazon, or
right.
We compare with Flipkart. So for that purpose, it will consider as a bounce rate, but later on we can buy the product from the same company, right? So it will consider as a bounce rate, but it is not actually.
So bounce rate is different. Bounce rate is when someone clicks on the website and they exit within the first few seconds, like
right.
less than, let's say, 3 seconds.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is the average session time, the intention to buy. Like people who bounced automatically, like they obviously have no intention to buy, right? But someone who has not spent enough time, because again, it comes back to data. Every company has data that a customer needs to spend X amount of time to complete a purchase on an average, right? Now, if that customer is falling below that average, the chances of them making a purchase are much lower than someone who has actually spent that much time, right? But on what the companies are doing is that on Facebook, they're still advertising to all the customers irrespective of the time they spent on the website. Now, it might be the case that you may make a purchase even if you spent less time, but the probability of doing so is much lesser when compared to someone who spent more time. And to actually be profitable and to increase your ROAS, it would be better that you focus on customers who spend more time, who have a higher intention of buying, and fall lower into your purchase bucket rather than higher up. So that's what this stat is about.
Okay, but I thought like there might be a chance, like if the product is not loading properly, if the it might be possible the speed is very low of a particular page. Sometimes people bounce back because of those kind of reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Now that's a bad customer experience. Why would someone want to buy from a website that is not functioning at all, right?
Right.
Like they will not in any
overall
case
it will consider as a less average session duration or less bounce rate. So we might think they are not interested, but it might be a reason like there is a server problem.
They would be interested in the product, but not from your website. The question is interested in a product on your website versus some other website.
Right.
So the point that I'm trying to make is that every company has data about average session time and how much time it takes for a customer to make purchase. Are they actually effectively using it is the question. And if they are, how can they utilize it better? Is one of the solutions that I propose.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
I have one question. So actually, I have two questions for you.
Sure.
First is regarding the attribution window. So every platform has a different attribution window,
Yeah.
and every platform have a different attribution model as well. So if we talk about Google Ads, it is basically based on by default it have a last click
Last click.
attribution
Yes.
model, and while if we talk about Google Analytics, they have session-based attribution window, not click-based attribution window.
Can you repeat that?
So in Google Analytics, we have session-based attribution window compared to.
It's the default one is last click.
So
For last 6 months.
so
for
for
GA.
click, it is for Google Ads. We consider
Analytics. I'm
yeah.
talking about analytics.
For analytics, it is based on session, not on clicks.
Okay.
Okay, and
Through the ads. I'm talking about through the ads.
so if you consider
ahead.
only through paid channels, then yeah, it's through ads. But if we see
So
in
I'm
analytics-
actually talking about only through ads because
Okay.
we deal with only ads, not organic.
Okay, and for Facebook, the attribution window is by default, as you mentioned, for 28 days clicks
Click and
one
1
day
day
view.
view, yeah.
Okay, so every channel have a different attribution window and different attribution model. How
Right.
do you club this? How does the system club all the data and define like these are the performing products?
Right.
And
yeah.
so the problem here is sometimes the same product is attributed to multiple channels. So let's suppose you have interacted with my ad copy from Facebook today, and next day you have interacted with my ad from Google Ads,
Right.
and you have made a purchase through the last interaction that has happened with Google Ads.
Right.
Now Facebook will also attribute the
Yes.
same conversion into its platform.
Yes.
And Google Ads will also have the attribution to their own platform.
You're right.
So the same conversion is attributing to two different channels at the same moment.
Yes.
So
you're
how
right.
does system decide that yeah, this particular platform or this particular product is performing well? And the next question is like how does the system analyze the performance of any particular product? Is it based on the total number of unique purchases happening for those particular products, or is it based on the revenue that has been generated out of those products?
Yeah, good questions, both of them. The first one is, yes, you're right. Different channels have different attribution models, and every channel will show that they got the purchase in so much time and the other did. So we show the data as it is. So we don't decide which channel won. We simply show you the data of different channels. Now it's up to the company to look at the data of the source that they prefer. So some companies prefer Google Analytics, some companies prefer Facebook. Whichever source you prefer, you choose the data from that channel. And you have a follow-up question?
Yeah. So in that case, why will I require a system to analyze the data? I can do it manually, and I can always aggregate the products based on the data I have from different channels. When you say about automation, so dynamic products, as you mentioned, they actually suggest the product which a customer has already interacted with previously.
That is one of the ways.
Yeah, that is one of the ways. And after that, you can analyze the data from different channels, and Google Analytics is the best source to analyze that data.
Yes.
And you can always map different product sets into your campaigns and
Yes.
and define like which products you want to promote to which
You're
particular
right.
audiences.
Yeah.
So why I will require ROI hunter
Yeah.
for that particular method?
Yeah. So the thing is that if they prefer Google Analytics data, they will look at it, but the ad eventually needs to be delivered on Facebook, right? So our system integrates Google Analytics data where you can use Google Analytics data to actually deliver ads on Facebook rather than doing it manually, because then you will have one person downloading Google data, the other person looking at Facebook data. Basis that they have to create campaigns every week for bestsellers, let's say. They'll be creating multiple campaigns which come with their own learning journey. And by the time the learning has happened, probably that sale is over or whatever the reason for creating that campaign was done. We are trying to bridge that gap where you have to just create one campaign, and then you can automatically, dynamically change your bestsellers every week through that single campaign. So then you don't have to waste time on learning, and the money is well spent on actually performance rather than it trying to understand which is the right product. So the objective here is to save time and help you overcome that learning journey that happens every time and get you better results. So that's the answer to that. Can you repeat your second question again, please?
So it was like how the system analyze the performance of any individual product. Is it based on the number of unique transactions happening for that product, or is it based on the revenue that has been generated through that product?
Okay. So we have an integration with both Facebook and Google. Through that API, we are able to get few metrics. All the metrics that you see in your ads, we get them in our platform. So it can be based on any metric. It can be transactions, it can be revenue, it can be cost per action, it can be ROS. It depends on the KPI of the company, what KPI they are looking at. So it is agnostic of any metric. It depends on what the company is looking for.
Okay. One additional question.
Yes.
So the platform helps in identifying the performing products. Does it help in identifying the performing audiences as well?
No, the performing audiences we don't help with.
Okay.
Because that audience data is owned by Facebook.
Okay.
And they can't share their audience data now, as per GDPR. I
Thank
think
you.
someone else had a question. I saw someone raise their hand.
Hello. Here.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just wondered, how does all this change if it's a product listing on a mobile app
Okay.
and you're trying to show the most relevant product listing based on their behavior in the mobile app?
So this is product data, not
Yeah.
audience behavioral data.
Correct.
So product data remains the same across all platforms. It's just that
Even if it is in a mobile app, let's say, for example, Amazon's mobile app, and they're viewing product listings on that mobile app. And
on
you want-
Amazon's app.
and Amazon's app, and then you want to show them some relevant, based on data about how many people are purchasing, etc. You want to show them relevant dynamic ads outside Amazon's app through other websites, etc. Does the same concept work, or is it different?
Yeah. So this is about delivering ad on Facebook's audience network and Facebook. So whichever website or app comes under Facebook's audience network, the ad will be delivered there. Was that your question?
Not exactly, but
I didn't. Can you repeat your question?
so there's one part to the remarketing is one part of it, right?
Right.
I was thinking of if it were a mobile app, let's say Amazon's mobile app.
Oh,
and
will
a
the
con-
ad be shown on Amazon?
No,
Okay.
no, no.
Yeah.
And the consumer is, let's say, viewing some product on that Amazon's mobile app,
Hmm.
then you want to retarget that user with the same ad in Facebook's audience network.
Right.
Is that also possible?
Yeah, of course. Because on apps, it works through SDKs. On website, it works through pixels. That's how the tracking mechanism is. Rest, everything remains the same. 1 second, just, yeah.
On Facebook audience, is this the same through Pixel only, or it's a different way? So if we want to show the
Pixel and SDK. SDK is for mobile
mobile
apps.
ads,
For
yeah.
websites, it's through pixels.
so you are just tying the ID of your Google
Right,
ad
there's
ID
a
to the
unique,
Pixel.
yeah. Anyone over there? Third, okay. Okay, so, yeah, this was about utilizing the, this was about utilizing the data on your website. Just the last part, and then I think we have to break. So we spoke of personalization of ads, right? Where you are able to remarket the customer basis the product he or she saw. Now, taking this one step further, there are a lot of companies that have, that are, let's say, based on deals. They have new deals every day that expire in 2 days or 3 days, right? That means the products themselves are changing dynamically. It's not like a conventional e-commerce website there where the product remains the same throughout. So, now these companies generally, if you would have seen, they are able to target you on your email, maybe through SMS, with ultra personalized ads where your name is mentioned and which deal suits you basis the last time you saw that deal. They'll be able to deliver the same kind of experience to you on email as well as on SMS. But on Facebook, how it works is that you choose an entire audience set. You choose an entire audience set, and that ad is shown to that entire audience. The ad is not delivered individually to every audience basis their experience. That was the missing experience on Facebook. So we are so another way of overcoming that experience is where you actually create let's say a CSV file where you input a unique identifier. You can, let's say, you can put in the name or a phone number of the person that they must have entered on Facebook. Along with that, you can input the kind of deal that they last saw, and then use this data file to deliver ads on Facebook. This way, every person will see an ad catered to his or her taste. That means every person may see a different ad with, let's say, different messaging or a different product, rather than an audience set falling under that category and seeing that ad. And while this experience, like I said, was possible on email, it wasn't on Facebook, but through the technology, we utilized this data, and we saw that the results were much better when the ultra-personalized ads were shown to the customer based on the CRM data that they were able to give us. So in a nutshell, this is what I wanted to tell you, that utilizing your pixel data, your CRM data, as well as your products level data through catalogs can actually help you benefit and get you better results. Thank you. Any questions you may have? All right. Vinod, you can come.
Thank you, Mohit.
Thanks.
So